So Ras Freeman is not a person. Ras Freeman is the name given to our organization. It's Ras Freeman Foundation for the Unification of Rastafari. Because the estate was once named Willis Freeman. We got rid of the Willis and we added Ras to show ownership of this plantation.
How big is the community?
So our community is over 300 plus. We have some members who just prefer not to be registered, but I can say it's upwards of close to 1,000. People would normally fluctuate. So on a Sunday, we would have upwards of 70 members coming out to the service. And during the year, when we have celebrations, that's when majority of the people would normally come out.
For those who might be curious and can't find all the information online, what are some of the core principles at the core of your organization?
So, as a member of the organizations, we have the Nyabingi guidelines that were set by ancient Nyabingi members for a number of years. One of the main, we would say it's the dress code, especially for the empresses, women or female, depends on how you want to identify. Once you're coming onto the headquarters grounds, you would have to follow the guidelines of just wrapping your hair and making sure that your dress is below your knees. And for the men, you would have to dress modest, just respecting, keeping your shirt on, nice pants. That's mostly for when we have service. When we have work days out on the field, outside of the ground, we do not tell you how to dress.
What's the significance of women wrapping their hair?
So the significance is from the old ancient days where to show, because in the tabernacle, men have to let their locks fly, and to show respect, the woman would be the ones wrapping the hair. So that it happens that the guidelines set from inside the tabernacle governs the grounds. Okay.
What would you say is one of the biggest misconceptions about Rastafarianism?
Smoke. Some people normally would always tie smoking to Rastafari when our culture is not even built off of smoking. It's the natural way of living, making use of the produce from the ground, eating what you grow, having strict discipline in terms of how you eat, how you carry yourself out in the outside community, and just respect for every man. So it's not just smoking, it's just a natural way of living.
So how does the national legislation governing the use of marijuana, affect or inhibit your community here?
So in 2018, it was tabled in the parliament, and we had members of our community who helped to draft the legislation, giving them insights as well that, something that would make it much more comfortable for us, because before 2018, it was deemed illegal. Now that it's decriminalized, it's much more comforting to us. There's a lot more work to be done. We want it to be legal, but for now, being decriminalized and having sacramental rights on our ground, it gives us a much better chance of continuing our tradition in a more comfortable way.
Before this trip to Antigua, I was speaking to a couple of people who mentioned that members of the Rastafarian community are often treated as second-class citizens here in Antigua and Barbuda. Is this something you agree with?
I would have to agree with it, but now that we have been carrying on our tours, especially with Humble and Free Wadali and the Ras Freeman community, people are starting to see a lot of the things that they were saying about us didn't really come from the Rastafari. It was from the system that used to pressure Rastafari into going further and further into the bushes, creating communities that the police will still come and destroy. So now we have the medium of using social media. We always make sure we post what is going on in our community. We have a big outreach. People would ask us a lot of questions every day. What is going on? How do you do this? Why do you eat this? So we're now getting to have a conversation with some of the people who had the misconception from first and letting them know exactly how things are going. So with Humble and Free with Daddy, this is what we're using to clear up all those years of nonsense that people used to have about the Rastafarian community.
You mentioned earlier that many of the children go to public schools or private schools, general schools. Is it difficult for them to, I guess, fit in, for want of a better phrase?
Not really difficult. I would say some of the reports we got, it would vary, but we are very accepted these days than what the elders used to tell me before when they couldn't even get into the school. So they're more understanding, much more lenient with us. We are much more respected in this time.
As we prepare to wrap up, what do you want people who are looking at this video to know about your community?
Well, for one, we want them to know that we are normal people, just like everybody else. We just have some principles and some guidelines that helps us to be much better people in society. We know for years it has been like Rastafari has been away from the regular days happenings, but on our building to build a strong community that one day we know for sure we can incorporate with the outside community, trade with the outside community, and also we offer a tour where you can come and see what's really going on our property.
Okay, final question.
Yes.
Are you satisfied with the support that the government gives to your community?
I'm gonna say no. But for what we have been through and where we are today, we have to say give thanks. Because we know that it's trying just to please the regular people, I would say. We see with the water, we see with the electricity. We know we have to work to get what we want. So all we ask for is just for a little balance in terms of even when they make certain laws, certain legislation, respect us as the indigenous people, and we will always respect them. We know things are not going to be perfect, but we're trying. And we gotta say, give thanks for what they have been doing so far, and we're looking to receive much more assistance.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.